Sales is the most lucrative skill in the world, period. The problem is most sales advice out there today is outdated, cheesy, and can even keep you from getting the deals that can make all the difference in your career. This is the No BS Sales School, a podcast for entrepreneurs and salespeople who want to master the skill of selling without all the BS.
Today, I want to do another episode under the theme, me versus me. Who's going to show up today at work? Who's going to show up today at home? Who's going to show up in my real life today? Meaning, which one of me is going to show up? And is it going to be the weak me, the one that is afraid, the one that has a high need for approval? Is it going to be me, the one who lets my ego say, look, you really don't need to do any extra prospecting today. You really are doing fine. You don't need any more. Or is it going to be me that says to my ego, hey, man, thanks for your opinion. How about sit down, be quiet? I got work to do, right? So one of the things that's been pounded into my head, it's been reminded of in the past 2 weeks, is the need for urgency. And the best producers in the world, and probably some of the smartest, most successful people in the world, have a sense of urgency. They have a sense of urgency because they have a sense of purpose, a reason to move forward. And so why does this matter in sales? Why does a sense of urgency matter in sales? And I will tell you it's because, well, there are a bunch of reasons. But number one, remember, your world changes every 90 days. Think back 90 days ago. I think we may have talked about this in another podcast. Think back 90 days ago and what you were worried about, what you cared about. Let's see, that would put you right January the 1st, maybe end of December. What were you thinking about? Ooh, I'm hungover for Christmas. Ooh, maybe dry January, right? Got to really get started to reach my goals, making lists, making plans. Actually, it was the beginning of December, so it's different than that, right? It was, oh, nobody buys this time of year. Blah, 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 the bullshit we tell ourselves, right? Well, the stuff you did 90 days ago is the stuff that's feeding you now, right? It takes often, it depends on your business, but for most of us, there's a 90-day lag time between the time you're picking up the phone, you're calling, you're following up on leads, you're doing what you have to do to move your business, and the time that those, call them seeds, actually sprout 90 days later. And there's something there to talk to. And I've figured this out myself several times. I've probably learned it 100 different times that, you know, when you're busiest, when the most people are showing up and want to be your prospects, they're your prospects and become your clients. And all of a sudden you're like, this is great. This is awesome. I've got so much to do. I'm too busy to even prospect for more business. Some of the lies we tell ourselves. And it's like, so then you're busy closing and you're having such a great time. And this is cool. And all of a sudden you wake up and it's 90 days later and you don't have shit in your pipeline. Right? You don't have shit. You got to start over again, which then gives you another 90-day lag. Talked about the sales goddess before. She's a bitch, right? She rewards behavior. She rewards urgency. A lot of the prospects and clients I've picked up in the last 60, 90 days have not been the ones that I called. They've been other people that somehow peripherally came to me. They've not been the ones that I call. I've gotten one or two of the ones I call, but mostly I think it's sales karma that the sales goddess provides. Now, the other side of sales karma is that the sales goddess is a bitch and she has a wicked sense of humor. And if you're not doing your job and you're hoping that this one deal will make your year, this one deal will happen so that you're not in the freaking doghouse. She'll dribble you along for a while, and she'll smack you right in the damn face and make it blow up. That ever happened to anybody? Sure has happened to me a couple times, right? Probably more than I want to think. So there needs to be a sense of urgency for prospecting, a sense of urgency to make yourself better, a sense of urgency to grow. I don't share a ton. Maybe I do. I don't think I share a ton of personal stuff. But one of the things you may notice today, I'm wearing a tie, a suit today, which I rarely do. I'm going to a funeral. And this funeral is for in my wife's family, an aunt who is 86 years old. Just got back from her 60th wedding anniversary trip with her husband to Italy. And about a week ago, she was killed in a car accident. Ugh, yuck, right? Who knew? Seemed healthy where she was, right? Probably had another while longer to live. Died in a car accident. My other friend, I have a dear friend, one of my oldest friends, diagnosed about 3 weeks ago with this awful cancer. Sucks. It just sucks. And I hope and I pray that he's going to be one of the ones that is going to be miraculously cured. But the reality is, his liver's got tumors in it. He's yellow. He's sick. He's taking chemo. I mean, it sucks. And the scary part about both those things was, could have been me. Maybe me today. Maybe me tomorrow. Who knows how much time we have left? So I don't know when sickness comes. I don't know when tragedy happens. I don't know when something's out there that I could take advantage of if I would only look around me, pick up the phone, call somebody. What is it that I need to be doing to, it seems often trite at this point, to grow my business? Because that's the way I impact people. That's the way I feed my family. That's the way that I can, I know this probably sounds grandiose, but this way I can change lives. So I can help people be better at their business. And what I have to remember is that there are plenty of people out there that are scratching their chin, scratching their head with maybe their face over their head, saying, I don't know how to fix this problem. I can't figure out how to beat my competition who keeps going low price on me. I don't want to win that business, but I got to go win. Don't know how to do it unless it's low price. Or I'm getting drug out longer and longer and longer. It takes longer and longer to close business. Or we're wasting a ton of time with people that end up not buying from us. Or I just don't know how to be different than my competitors. We say we're different, but we're really not that different. And nobody can tell that we're different. I mean, there are people out there right now, maybe some of y'all listen to this podcast, feel that way. And I've never talked to you. And that's my fault, right? By the way, if you are feeling that way, any of those things, or you say, I've got a team that's struggling, or I've got some people that, I don't know if they don't know what to do, or maybe they know what to do, but they're not doing it, and I'm not sure what to do about that, and maybe I need some help with that. Shit, man, life is short. Pick up the phone, 803-917-2817, 803-917-2817. Send me an email. Happy to talk to you about that. Who knows how long, right? We've got to fix those kind of problems. Who knows? And then understand, sure, maybe once you've gone to the great beyond, who cares about those problems, right? So we've got a certain period of time to make ourselves better, to improve other people's lives, to help other people with the problems that you can solve, right? To make their life better, make them look better, make their life easier, right? Isn't that all of our goals? Isn't that what we're trying to do? On the same subject, I've been running into people lately, just a few, but it seems like it's becoming more and more and more. Maybe it's the uncertainty of the economy. Maybe it's just that I've had this weird batch of prospects lately. But they're people that really they hesitate. They need to think it over. I need to think it over. Even for a $1,000 decision, sometimes a $500 decision, they need to think it over. Which in my world means no. If somebody's not committed to make a $500 decision, then it's a no. They're not ready yet. It's not time. But I want you to realize that as a salesperson, as a sales leader, if your main function, if your main thing is to say, we got to think it over, we got to think it over, we got to sleep on this, we can't make a decision today, call us back in a week or 10 days. And that's how you buy things. That's also how you think it ought to be done, how buyers ought to act. So when they give you that bullshit about let's talk call me back in 2 weeks, or hey, let me think about this for 5 or 6 days or a month, right? If that's the way you buy, that's a problem for you. And my guess is your sales cycles are long because of it. You're creating the long sales cycles. Let's have a sense of urgency to get to yeses and to nos. Nos are perfectly fine. They're great, actually. I'd much rather hear a no, wouldn't you? At the end of a first sales call or the middle of a first sales call. I had one yesterday that was in 7.5 minutes of the first sales call, we got to a no. Wouldn't you rather hear it then than after you've met with these folks 4 or 5 or 6 times or 3 times? Wouldn't you rather know sooner rather than later? When you procrastinate making a decision, when you procrastinate getting decisions, one of two things is going on. Sometimes it's fear of failure. Gosh, if I ask them to make a decision, what if they tell me no? What if I don't make this sale? Well, the reality is you don't control whether or not you make that sale. You control that you show up. You're in charge 50%, but you not 51. If you were 51% in charge, shit, sales would be easy, right? It'd be easy. If we were 51%, give me all your money, shut the hell up, don't come back. Which is exactly what has happened to us on the other side if we don't follow a process, especially if you're not following the no BS process, right? Then your customer, your prospect has all the control. And they tell you, come over here, give me all your information, give me your pricing, give me everything you got. Let me beat you up on price. Yeah, I'll call you back in a couple of weeks, and they take their shit and shop it everywhere. That's what happens when they've got control. That ain't no fun. Surely not a great way to make a living. Maybe you made a living doing that, but it sure is hard. I had a friend that says, just because I can pull my own tooth doesn't make me a dentist, right? Just because I can go and give people pricing, and maybe I get one every now and then, doesn't make you a good sales guy, right? You're doing it wrong, right? If you're pulling your own teeth, calling yourself a dentist, it's bloody, it's messy, it hurts. But yeah, you can pull a tooth. Sales is the same way. If your sales process is bloody and messy because your business is different, bullshit, maybe you need to look at a new way. If you want to have a conversation about that, I'm happy to talk to you. 803-917-2817. Procrastination or fear of moving forward, right? It is one thing, it's a fear of success. What happens if I close this business? What happens if I make all these calls and all these people become clients? Won't be able to keep up with it. That's the bullshit your ego says. What if I call these people and they say, yes, what am I going to do then? What if all these people buy at the same time? How will I handle it? Maybe those aren't your conscious thoughts, but I bet there's sometimes they're your unconscious thoughts. Right? And then the other side is, what if they say no? What if they tell me no? Everybody had that, I don't know, do we still use business cards? I don't. What if you had that business card that you've had on your desk for a while, you pushed it around because it was from a gigantic prospect, an ideal prospect. You've kind of pushed it around, waiting to call, because if you call and they say no, then it's over. But if you leave it on your desk, there's a sense of hope. Meanwhile, your competitors are calling on them. If they're going to switch and you're not calling them, guess what? They ain't calling you. Find a sense of urgency, a reason why it makes sense for you to prospect today, to get help today, to move towards getting a yes or a no today. Great selling is getting decisions. Have some urgency at the beginning of your sales call. Decide with your prospect, what are we going to decide today? What are we going to get a yes or no to that allows them to commit or not, and you to commit or not at the end of the call? If you don't have that agreement, what the hell are you doing there? Who are you talking to? What do they need to know? You don't know that. What do you need to know to decide? You don't know that. Have a sense of urgency to make sure that things are happening now. This is the best way to play the long game, is to have a sense of urgency today, so that 90 days and 180 days from now and 360 days from now, you've still got business in the door and you've got choices. Because the more prospects you have, the stronger your pipeline, the more choices you have by who you want to work with. No urgency, you're going to be stuck with who you got. I'm Walker McKay with No BS Sales. We work with individuals who pay for themselves. We also work with companies, sales teams, got programs starting all the time. Reach out to me. Let's have a conversation, see if something we do can help you. Meanwhile, one more favor. Go to Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts, particularly Apple. Go back to you can't do it from where you're listening, unfortunately. You got to go back and look it up. But leave me a review. Hit me with 5-star review. That'd be super helpful. I think I've got 99. Help me get over 100, please. You guys are the best. Let me know if I can help you.
Thanks for listening to No BS Sales School Podcast. If you haven't already, please take 1 minute to write a quick review for the show. It really does make a huge difference. Also, subscribe to the show and please forward this episode to somebody else who needs to hear it. As a bonus for listening, I'm going to give you access to a free mini course 7 expensive sales mistakes you're making and what you can do about it. Go to www.7salesmistakes.com and get access to the free mini course. That's the number 7salesmistakes.com. Thanks again for listening to the OBS Sales School podcast.